What up, Laker Nation? How y'all feeling today, man? Hopefully everybody's doing great. It's your boy DTLF back with another video. We got some stuff to talk about. I mean, you guys know I love to let it pile up and then we get to talk about it. Shout out to everybody on Twitter who also pitched in with a couple of topics y'all wanted to hear. Y'all wanted me to talk about free agency, a couple of prospects I might like from the draft, and also Coach Darvin Ham and potential fits and stuff like that. But before we get into all of that, I want to talk about obviously Darvin Ham was just hired unofficially, right? Hopefully they announce it real soon. Uh, but the biggest questions, what are the biggest questions about Darvin Ham? What does he face? First of all, he's already getting criticism. You hear Chuck say that, and I quote, he said, he's a nice guy. We'll have to wait and see what kind of coach he is. But listen, if one of your coaches is close to the same age as your players, he said your team is not going to be good anyways. So there you have it. Charles, aka Chuck, his usual hatred on the Lakers. Why we never did nothing to him other than win, right? So maybe he's jealous of that. I don't know, but I think he's hilarious. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the live stream. Good to see you all. I think he's hilarious, man. Chuck, I never take anything he says personal. To me, he's just funny. He's a funny dude, and I heard he only has like 1 year left on his contract next year on TNT. So pretty soon he'll be gone. So let's just enjoy his sense of humor. I never take anything to heart that he says again because this man is he's something else, right? But that's what Charles chiming in on Darvin Ham. Now, what is the thing? The thing about obviously Darvin Ham is he has a lot of experience as a player / coach. Check it out. As a player, he has 8 years, right? 11 years as an assistant coach. So you're talking about somebody that truly deserves that job. It is Mr. Darvin Ham. You talk about somebody who is well beloved around the league, even today. Al Horford was quoted as saying one of the persons that helped him get to that next level, both defensively and offensively, was Coach Darvin Ham. So we even got Celtics praising this Laker hire. Actual players who actually know what they're talking about have loved it. So far, most of the pushback on the media has been positive on Darvin Ham. So yes, we feel great about our hire, but there's still tons of work to be done. That's why this video right here, right? Now, again, thank you guys all for posting on my Twitter timeline what you guys wanted me to talk about. So, major credit to you guys as well as far as this goes. Now, Coach Darvin Ham has not chosen his coaching staff as of yet, right? His assistant coaches, but kudos to the Lakers for giving him the green light to pick his own staff. Shout out to the Lakers for saying Kurt Rambis not going to be involved in the locker room and allowing our man to move freely. Now, clearly, Darvin Ham is a powerful person vocally because this is probably something he requested upon being hired by the Lakers in order for them to agree to terms. So, I'm so happy that some of those questions are instantly being answered. On top of that, we know this guy, he's always been a hard-nosed player. I mean, people forget he won a championship with the Detroit Pistons. That still hurts me to say. We're a tough defensive-minded team that beat our Lakers back in 2004. So people don't understand. This guy really comes from a tough background. He's also been an assistant coach to Mike Budenholzer and just so many great coaches around the league. He's also worked with some notable names like Quinn Snyder. So I think, here's my thing about this whole situation. It's a wait and see approach for me, but I'm very positive about it. And I really hope that we can support our man, Darvin Ham. And that kind of rhymes as well. We can support our man Darvin Ham in his hiring. Now, it might get off to a slow start. We never know. We still haven't found out what's going to happen with Russell Westbrook's contract. And we still don't know exactly who's going to sign in free agency. But here, this video is to let you guys know that it's all around the corner, guys. Come July is going to get interesting. Not only the 4th of July fireworks are going to be popping, but free agency. Are we still going to have Russ under contract, or do we have that cap space? Now, this next subject is going to depend on all of that, guys. Now, it's funny because a lot of people around the league have been putting up these trade packages for Russell Westbrook that I think are just silly, right? But here's one that I find intriguing, but I really don't want it to happen, but it could happen, right? We all saw how the Miami Heat lost to the Boston Celtics, and word had it that they've been injured and they didn't have a co-star for Jimmy and this and that, right? Well, Kevin O'Connor proposed a 36-year-old, 6-time NBA All-Star to get traded for Kyle Lowry, for Russell Westbrook. What do you guys think of that? I would hate it. I never liked Kyle Lowry, to be honest with you guys. He's so inconsistent. He was inconsistent in Toronto, but he came up big for them in that playoffs, in a couple playoff series on their way to that championship. But that team was stacked with Kawhi Leonard. So yeah, that trade, to me, there's gonna be a lot of weird trade proposals. To me, I echo the sentiment of a lot of Laker fans who say no trade is better than a bad trade. And what I mean by that is maybe Darv will bring Russ off the bench or try to stagger his minutes between him and LeBron and see if that works out, right? So that's all I want to say about that, because that Russell Westbrook topic is going to be never ending until a trade happens or something intriguing comes into fruition. Now, before I get into free agency, which is the main reason everybody clicked on this video, right? I want to talk about some potential draft day steals. Now, I started a thread on Twitter. You guys can follow me. Information down below. Well, actually, no, I didn't. Let me cue the information so you guys know where to follow me. There it is. All my information is down below now. And I'm going to be posting a thread of potential draft day steals. I think the Lakers, supposedly we have $4 million to spend on a second round pick, right? A second round draft pick. So it'll be interesting to see if Rob can buy his way into the draft. And if so, Lakers already been working out some prospects. Here's one that I really like. All right. His name is Jamari Booyah. Yes, it's Booyah, man. So how fun would it be if we draft this kid? You know, this is a guard out of the University of San Francisco, averaged 17.3 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. If you guys look him up, all right, again, name Jamari Booyah. He's a 22-year-old, very ready for the NBA, all right? He's a scorer. He's a bucket. And we can use another guard who could put, the ball in the net, because we don't know what's going to happen with Malik Monk in free agency. So you can never, ever, ever have too many guards, especially one that can shoot. Now, the thing about Jamari is, obviously, this guy right here, he's ready for the NBA. At 22 years old, I think he's a prospect that can come in and contribute right away in spotty minutes. Now, we don't know what style of coaching Coach Darvin Ham is going to bring. Is he going to trust veterans more? Is he going to balance it out? Or is he going to go with the best talent available? Hopefully, it's the best talent available gets the most minutes, and whoever plays hardest for him gets the most playing time as a reward, right? Well, here's this guy, Jamari Booyah, averaging 17 points at 22. Reminds me a little bit of a poor man's Gilbert Arenas. I really like the way he can create shots. He has a nice little step back. He's pretty athletic. All right, so I'm not saying he will be the next Gilbert, but you never know. People forget how late in the draft he was drafted, right? But the bottom line is this. Jamari is a hooper. Another one I really like, you guys already know this kid, man. He's right out of our own backyard at UCLA, and that's Johnny Juzang. 6'6" guard out of UCLA, man. He could play small forward a little bit. Now, he's not the best defender, but he's somebody who can come off the screens, knock down shots. You can never have too much of those guys in the NBA. And you never know how his game might translate. He might be even better than advertised. Now, his shooting numbers dipped a little bit since last year, but I still think he's a very good prospect, and he might even go undrafted. I doubt it. But if he does, oh my goodness, the Lakers will swoop him up so quick, bring him into training camp, maybe even summer league, and all that good stuff. So we definitely have some prospects to look at, and I'm going to be posting daily on my Twitter timeline. Again, follow me. Information down below on Twitter if you guys want to see the daily prospects I scout on here. You guys know I've been right about a lot of these young talents. So let's see what happens there as far as that goes. Now, I find it extremely interesting that, the rumor was that the Lakers are looking to buy a draft pick. If the Lakers do buy a draft pick, I want to head over to the comment section. Tell me who you guys like. Tell me who exactly you guys like and why you guys like them. Again, Lakers have been working out players like R.J. Cole. Today they worked out Jules Bernard. They've been working out a couple of young, talented, skilled players. So I think we might be able to find a gem if we play it right. If we play right. He said, can we buy a second rounder? Yes, we can. We have about I don't know how many million to spend on a second rounder. I wish that was enough to spend on a first rounder, but you see, inflation has impacted everything, including the NBA. So that's tough. My boy said Kai Soto. Yeah, he's about 7'2". He has a nice little stroke. We could definitely use his size for sure. I'm not sure if he needs to put on some size and muscle, in my opinion. I'm not sure if he'll be NBA ready. What is he, like 19? So we got to look at everything. I definitely like the talent for a 7'2" guy. For sure, but will he be ready to come right away and make an impact? Those are the kind of players I think the Lakers are looking for. That's why I mentioned the first two players. Those two guys have been in college multiple years, and I think they're more NBA seasoned than your guy Kai. But I do like the talent and the prospect there, definitely. Donkey, he said, I sound like a scout, bro. That's always been one of my dreams. I love scouting young basketball talent, and I definitely would love to. I've been right about a lot of young talented guys. Now, some people have already quit on my guy THT, but I still feel like he has a lot of talent, and I wouldn't give up on him just yet. All right. Preseason was just announced, by the way, as well, guys. Preseason is coming up on October the 3rd versus the Sacramento Kings at 7:30. Crypto.com arena. Not sure if you can buy your tickets yet, but yeah, that's preseason officially starts then, followed by October 5th versus the Phoenix Suns, then Minnesota Timberwolves on the 6th, and so on and so forth. So 6 games for preseason. Preseason ends on October 14th, right before regular season. It hasn't been announced, but before that gets announced. All right. Now, the moment everybody came up in here for, okay, before I go into that, let's read a couple of comments. He said, get the best defensive player that's ready. That, you know what? If we could look for 6'6", 6'7" wings, 6'8", I think that would be a good route to go. But we have a lot of needs. We need size in the paint. I would not mind a guard either. And obviously, like I said, wings. You see how good wings are doing in the playoffs. I mean, Wiggins has been shining. Obviously, Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. I mean, wings pretty much have always dominated the league to a sense, right? Some of the best players are wings, even now, you know. So it's interesting. I think you never know. You can get a draft day steal, but the Lakers have to do their due diligence. And I do feel like there's going to be a lot of players that might have got drafted in the second round and might skip workouts to avoid being drafted just to come to training camp with the Lakers and get a shot. Since we've given so many young players and even G League players opportunities. And so we've become a landing destination for this young, talented players, which definitely is a round of applause for our front office because they do a great job with young talent. And I'd only love to be a part of that in the near future. Hey, appreciate you, man. He said I might have been a good school presenter. Thank you, K4. Appreciate you, bro. That's why I'm an MC, man. I'm a lyrical monster, bro. Go listen to my music. Nah, I appreciate it, though. Thank you, bro. You like Jordan Bohannon? Yeah, look, listen, we can use some size for sure. There's a lot of good prospects out there. Again, I started a thread on Twitter, and I'm going to be dropping names slowly but surely. And then once we find out if we buy a pick or not, then I'm definitely going to drop a top 3 or top 5 prospect video from all the prospects I mentioned. Again, Lakers already starting early. That's the advantage of being eliminated early. I'm not saying we like that, but the advantage is that we get extra time to work with these young prospects and just start scouting these guys ahead of the curve. So that's a good thing. All right. Now, I know what you guys clicked on this video for. You see the title, I never clickbait nobody. So I went ahead and made a list of, prospects I like for the Lakers with Darvin Ham. Now, we have a direction. We know what kind of tough-minded, defensive-minded coach he is. And also, offensively, I feel like he will encourage a lot of players to get better, including Anthony Davis. Everybody's talking about how Anthony Davis is going to react to Coach Darv. So I look forward to that. But look, LeBron talked about the Lakers getting younger. All right, shout out to Tara for bringing up the point. And how we have to have a set closing lineup. I think that's also going to be such a huge improvement over Frank Vogel. The fact that Darvin Ham is probably going to have his lineups out the gate out of preseason, and he might stick with those for the majority part of the season. So without further ado, I want to present to you guys the free agents I think would fit both Darvin Ham, the Lakers moving forward, and maybe even our salary budget if we have any, especially if we get rid of Russell Westbrook's contract. But if not, here are some players. All right, let's start off with some size in the paint, guys. Size in the paint. All right, Mo Bamba. Yes, this guy is a restricted free agent, but rumor has it the Magic aren't looking to re-up him. Maybe if we do a sign and trade, we can give him a second-round pick or something. They might unload Mo Bamba. Now, Mo Bamba put up career numbers in career minutes, right? He only averaged 25 minutes per game, but he averaged 10.6 points per game, 8 rebounds, and 1.7 blocks. Again, he was even able to shoot the 3. So floor spacing, rim protecting big can be exactly what the doctor ordered. And rumor has it Anthony Davis might play some center for us again, but hopefully Coach Darv gets an actual center to do the dirty work, and then AD can focus more on offense and weak side defense. So I really hope that an option like Mo Bamba will be available in free agency to us if we can even afford him. and we'll figure something out. But this is like the pipe dream scenario right now. A more realistic choice due to an injury is ex Washington Wizards center, because I say ex because he's now an unrestricted free agent, Thomas Bryant. Now you guys remember Thomas Bryant, right? Thomas Bryant, I was a big fan of him. I scouted him early in his G League days when he was playing for the Lakers. And I told you guys, Lakers might have something there if they hold on to him. Well, they didn't hold on to him. And sure enough, this guy has developed nicely with Washington. So I really, really, really like this kid a lot. I know he just came off of a major injury, but you know what? Before he got injured, he was putting up 14 points. These are all career highs. A block, 6 rebounds, and only 27 minutes per game. And what was most impressive is that he was shooting 42% from beyond the arc. So just imagine the Lakers actually bring him back and he stays healthy. This guy, he's like Clint Capella, but younger. And he could actually space the floor and shoot. So I think he would also be an ideal fit for the Lakers. Under Darvin Ham, he might even, and still, especially if Phil Handy gets his hands on him, whoo, man, let me tell you something. He might take his game to the next level because he's young, he's hungry. He's always had a motor and a passion. I remember when Magic Johnson drafted him, he always raved about his energy and how infectious that was in practice. So, again, Thomas Bryant, I loved him since he was in the G League. Just like Austin Reeves. We scouted Austin Reeves in Summer League, and we knew he was special. Same thing with Thomas Bryant. And now, if he could just stay healthy, I think he would be a great pickup for the, veterans minimum for the Lakers. Because obviously, I don't think anybody's going to pay him a lot, to be honest with you, because he's still very raw and he still has a ways to go in his career. All right, moving on now. Again, this is another pipe dream. I'm going to go 1-1. This is another pipe dream scenario for the Lakers. Lakers make the right trades. They assemble the right team. And now you got veterans like PJ Tucker, who's going to be unrestricted, I believe so. PJ Tucker, forget about the stats, man. I'm not going to bring up his stats. All right. He's somebody who could change the culture of your team. He's one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. And I think if the Milwaukee Bucks would have had PJ Tucker, they would have advanced, not the Celtics. That's how good he is. Now, I'm not sure if he'll take a pay cut to come to the Lakers. I'm not sure. You just never know, though. When you build a championship contender, maybe you have somebody like Darvin Ham recruiting some of these free agents. I'd love to have a PJ Tucker. What do you guys think of that in the comment section? I got more on my list. I got more players on my list right here that I made right before coming live. So he said maybe they will sign other free agents. He said no chance, Dan. You don't think PJ Tucker? I think PJ Tucker could be realistic. Doubt we could get PJ Tucker. Okay. You guys don't believe in PJ. He said PJ too old, too short. It's not about that. PJ is tough, man, and he will bring that type of winning culture. Now, I'm not saying we need to get all old guys. Obviously, everybody on my list is not old, but this is somebody I would really love, man. I would really love PJ. And remember, our man Darvin Ham coached PJ Tucker when he was with the Bucks. So there's always ties and there's always connections. So it'll be interesting. He has a player option? Oh, okay. Thanks for clearing that up. Is it Tucker is old and slow, not another Trevor Ariza? Nah, no way. You're not comparing PJ Tucker to Trevor. I won't let you get away with that. No, sir. PJ Tucker changed the culture of the Miami Heat, and they were one game away from getting to the finals. So there's no way. And also Jimmy Butler, but PJ Tucker is tough, man. I'd love to have him. All right. Moving on. A cheap wing who can defend and is young, right? He's younger. Somebody I've always been a fan of since he was with the Kansas Jayhawks, man. And that's Josh Jackson. Now, Josh Jackson hasn't had the best NBA career, guys, but he's somebody who he has shown promise in Detroit. I watched him. When I had League Pass, I watched him play, and he's a tough player. If he ever gets his shot down, similar to Stanley Johnson, you can never have enough defensive-minded wings. I would not mind to have Josh Jackson unrestricted free agent, and I'm sure he'd take any sort of contract from the Lakers. Like, we don't have to pay him a lot. Yes, Hassan Whiteside is another good suggestion, but he's not my favorite just based off of his mentality. But as far as skill-wise and everything, if he buys in, yeah, I wouldn't mind Hassan Whiteside. My boy said, would you trade for Maxi Kleber if that deal became available? I don't mind a Maxi Kleber, but I prefer a two-way big who can space the floor. Let me give you an example of somebody I would prefer over Maxi Kleber that I'd rather trade for, even though I think he's a free agent, if I'm not mistaken. And that would be Bobby Portis. Bobby Portis would be dope as heck, man. Let's just say worst-case scenario, Malik Monk walks. He doesn't take the mid-level exception. This is the guy I would give that exception to, Bobby Portis, if he's willing to take a smidget of a pay cut. Because what is he making, like 10 mil? His contracts. I think he has a player option as well. I'm not sure, but I would prefer a 3-and-D guy like Bobby over Maxi Kleber. So yeah. He said, how about we bring in Ben McLemore? He was a good shooter for us. If we're looking for a strict shooter, sure. Damian Jones is another good option. We had him before as well. We need tough-minded guys. I got more on my list. He said, Dan, Kai Soto can play center and AD at the power forward. Yes, Max. But that's assuming he's NBA ready right now. He still needs to add some muscle. He looks a little bit frail. He definitely has talent, but I'm not sure how much that talent is going to carry him at the next level. I do like that he can space the floor. He's 7'2". So, yeah, he's definitely a prospect to look at. But I'm not sure if he'll even get minutes. We don't know what type of coach Darvin is. We got to see if he even gives these rookies opportunities. I think he will, but who knows? Now, another player. Now, again, this was kind of a reach because he's going to want to get paid. He had a great season this year. But he's a two-way player and a nice one. Nice one, too. And that's Bruce Brown Jr. from the Brooklyn Nets. He's another defender. Played extremely hard for the Brooklyn Nets, man. And he fits Darvin Ham's mold. He's only 25. So what do you guys think of Bruce Brown Jr.? I think these are players we should pursue. I'm not sure if these players will be attainable or we will even have the cap space. Everything's still too murky to make predictions because we don't know if we're going to unload Russ or not. But I really like players like Bobby Portis and Bruce Brown Jr. I think they fit that mold of what type of winning culture we're trying to build here in Los Angeles. You say he's getting paid. He might, but we just never know how the market's going to look. Bruce Brown Jr. would be nice, though. He's definitely somebody who's been on my mind as far as fit. And again, only 25, and we need to get younger. So he said, Dan, remember Robert Upshaw? I do, and I was shocked he didn't stick, but I heard he had some sort of domestic problems or something like that. I don't want to start any false rumors, but there was some sort of problems. I don't exactly remember what it was, but Robert Upshaw had some sort of issues that were non-basketball related. All right, so don't quote me on that because I'm not exactly sure, but I do remember something because he was averaging like 3 blocks a game in summer league, and I like Robert Upshaw. I really did. He said Bruce will get paid either by the Nets or elsewhere. Well, again, the only reason I'm mentioning these names is because we don't know. What if we end up just cutting Russell Westbrook to create more cap space? We don't know what's going to happen. As of right now, rumor has it, we're not willing to either cut him or unload assets to get rid of his contract unless we get something valuable in return. But these are just names I'm throwing out off the wall. Not all of them are realistic. Obviously, Bobby Portis is going to get paid. Bruce Brown Jr. might as well. Here's another name I like and very affordable. All right. He's somebody that has been a Laker before and we loved him. And unfortunately, we weren't in a winning mindset at the time. So there was no need to keep him. We were rebuilding. And that's Ed Davis, man. Ed Davis has always been somebody who can block shots, rebound, and play extremely hard for you. Ed Davis can definitely log in 15 to 20 minutes a night off the bench. And he could definitely man the paint if we need him to play alongside AD for, limited minutes. I like Ed Davis. And he's a name that usually slips through the cracks with the casual NBA fans because they don't know who he is. But look him up, especially if you're a new Laker fan. Those of us that have been here forever, we know who Ed Davis is, man. He was here during the rebuilding years. And I think he played, I'm not sure if it was Byron Scott or Mike D'Antoni, one of the two. And he played extremely hard. And he still plays extremely hard. I've seen him play. Of course, he's not a player you play heavy minutes, 30-plus minutes, but he's definitely somebody who can log in valuable minutes, especially come playoff time. So, yeah, I would love to have me some Ed Davis, man. People like that, And again, we are trying to get younger, so a lot of the names you saw are young, but that doesn't mean that, again, look, you guys laugh if he's too old. You laugh if he's too young because he's going to get paid. These are names that we just don't know, guys. We're throwing them out there, all right? But I definitely like Ed Davis for sure. I think he can be a fit here, limited minutes for sure, and he definitely fits the price tag, which is going to be better. A lot of veteran exceptions, a lot of them. Yeah, what's up, Dan? How's it going, bro? I really like Darvin Ham as our coach. I'm looking forward to see what we do this offseason. Bruce Brown would be nice. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. Doing good, man. I can't say I'm not blessed. Hopefully, all you guys are doing extremely good as well. And thanks so much for the donation, brother. Now, we got 4 months exactly till we actually get our first taste of preseason basketball, Laker basketball. So it's going to be a while, but I got you guys with content. I will be covering the summer league as well, right? Assuming I don't go on vacation or anything crazy happens, but I will be covering summer league, which starts in July. That's always interesting. Last year, we predicted Austin Reeves was the most impressive from that summer league team, and we were right. So you know what it is, man. For those of you basketball junkies, keep it locked all the time, right? And the last one, again, this one would be more like a sign and trade target. Let's say New York wanted to take a swig at Russell Westbrook. I'd love to have Mitchell Robinson, guys. I really would. Off of a sign and trade, I would love to have him part of any package. Mitchell Robinson, you guys know, is somebody I love since the draft. Now, it's not realistic. Most likely they're going to re-sign him. I'd be shocked if they trade him, but Mitchell Robinson is nice. We could really use a player like that. He could be an anchor for us down low. He can't space the floor, but he does all the other things. Think of young Tyson Chandler. You know, that's the type of player he could be, and I'd love to have a Mitchell Robinson type. Now, if you guys have any other suggestions via trade or free agency, I'm going to head over to the comment section. That pretty much wraps up my list of free agents that just jump off the wall right now that we don't know the cap situation. Now, later on, as we find out the cap situation, things start getting a little more clear, I will be dropping the top 3 to 5 free agents the Lakers should pursue once we know our situation a little bit better. He said, Gary Payton II. We already had him. I liked him very much. Yes, sir. That would be a nice grab. He said, I just watched Top Gun Maverick, Dan. It was 10 out of 10 best movie I've seen in a while. Appreciate you following my superhero page. Thanks, bro, for the suggestion. I definitely got to check that one out, man. I haven't had time. Been extremely busy with the family or whatnot. But, yeah, I've heard great things about it, and I love the original Top Gun, but it's been a while. Hi, Dan. If you're a GM, which risk would you be willing to take? Keeping Russell Westbrook for one more year or losing a first round along with Russell Westbrook trade? Well, that depends, Jabari. If the trade we get in return is worth it for us, meaning we get pieces we could plug in and play now and won't really hamper us, then I do the trade now. However, if you're getting garbage like John Wall, I'm not saying John Wall's garbage, but at this point of his career, injury prone, hasn't really been able to be effective anymore. If you're getting like John Wall and you still have to give up Russ and a first round pick, I say, hell no. I'd rather hold on to him. Again, no trade is better than a bad trade. So it's a 2-part answer to your question, man. Great question, by the way. He said, Dan, would you like JaVale McGee back? My boy Rosa said, I translated it for you, brother. I wouldn't mind him. I would not mind him, and I think Darv can make it work. But here's my thing. When we had him the last time, Coach Frank Vogel didn't even utilize him in the NBA playoffs. He utilized him for like one series. He got pushed around, and that's it. He sat him on the bench. But anytime you get a shot blocker like that who does the dirty work, even though he has asthma, he can only play like 15 to 20 plus minutes. Yeah, I say why not? If that's all we have to pick up, like we don't have a cash to pick up marquee free agents, that I would say, yeah, go for it. Cam Reddish, I love that kid, man. I would definitely trade for Cam Reddish if he was available, for sure. He said, do you think we could trade Westbrook to Washington for Porzingis and KCP? I mean, you never know. I mean, Washington is a big question mark. I think we did him a solid by giving him young talent like Mo Wagner and Thomas Bryant and Isaac Bonga, guys like that they were able to look at and, basically for free. And obviously we gave them Kuzma and KCP and guys like that. If they want to keep good trading relationship between us, they might look at something like that. But if they're looking to build, obviously Bradley Beal's there. They're looking to build. I'm not sure if they would do that for us, man. They only had Porzingis for 1 year, so I'm not sure what they think of him. He said, we need a young big wing. We need Cam Reddish. He said, Dan, Dante DiVincenzo is perfect. If we can't keep Monk with the Bucks before traded, Kings did him wrong. I like Dante. For sure. I liked him since college. My thing is, though, I really hope we keep Malik Monk. Like I said before, he was truly our third best player this season, most consistent. He hit some game winners. He was clutch. He was a nice little combo guard playmaking for us at times. Needs to cut down on turnovers at times and also work on his defense, because I think to play for Darv, you're going to have to be a two-way player to get major minutes. But I think hopefully we find some sort of a middle ground as far as the contract goes. And remember, he put up great numbers last year, but he did it on a losing team, and we didn't make the playoffs. So I'm not saying you penalize him for that, but can he do it again? I think he can. Kentucky products are sick with it, and I've been a big fan of his. But the market should evaluate him in that sense, and hopefully the market doesn't, pay him like 15 to 20 mil, because we'd be out of the running for that. And I'd wish him the best. Anybody that offers you 15 to 20 mil, you take that. So, it would be tough to lose him, but I really like him a lot. Hopefully he does come back, man. Hopefully. He said, hey, Dan, let us bring back Carmelo Anthony. I don't mind him. But will he fit on the Darvin Ham? We'll see, right? But everybody could use a Wild Wild West gun out here, coming off the bench. So yeah, we could definitely use one of these guns, man. And I think he's a slinger for sure, man. He's definitely somebody who, as soon as he catches it, is going up. I love that about Melo, but sometimes if he's not focused on the defensive end, that could hurt you. But I thought he did decent this year. There were times where he's blocking shots and ripping people. So I thought he did decent compared to what his career stigma on him is, right? But we'll see moving forward. But I do like him. I don't mind him coming back. But we'll see what's out there on the market for sure. James, what's up, my boy? He said, great to see you. Great to see you too. He said, what do you think about Porzingis? I also would like to get Cam Reddish. Also, just to remind folks, F Boston. Appreciate you, James. Look, I answered the Porzingis one, man. I would definitely do that because we get a little bit more size. Even though Kristaps doesn't really play defense, he's still good for a block a game and spacing the floor, even if you bring him off the bench, although I doubt he wants to do that. As far as KCP, he was really good for us defensively. Offensively, at times he was inconsistent. His best stretch was definitely in the bubble. So if we can get Bubble Boy KCP back, I'd be happy with that. But don't hold your breath for that trade because they traded away Russ. I don't see why they would want him back unless they want an expiring contract and a first-round pick. But a lot of interesting, trade proposals out there, man. I love hearing them. I love imagining stuff because you never know what will happen. But right now, realistically, Russ is looking like he's going to stay one more season right now. That could all be just, they're playing for leverage. That could all be just the Lakers posturing up and trying not to get, bent over. So that could be that. But we don't know. Again, Rob is the type that he keeps everything close to the vest, and we find out when it happens officially. So I'm looking forward to this offseason. And we already started it off with a bang. New head coach, good head coach, and we can only go up from there. So, and I told you guys, remember when I said, the way the Lakers are playing, I hope they miss the playoffs because I don't want any excuses for Frank if we make the playoffs and say he overachieved, right? Frank Vogel, they're going to say he overachieved because he didn't have most of his roster. So this way, he went 16 games under 500. There was no excuses, and he was fired, and we got the right guy in return. So that's for those reasons. I'm glad it happened this way, but I'm not happy we missed the playoffs. Obviously, I would have loved. I think with all the injuries that have been happening, I think the Lakers could have made a run. Even with Russell Westbrook and even with Frank Vogel, I don't know, maybe I'm being naive, but I just feel like the way the playoffs have been playing off with all these injuries, anything was possible, guys. Then how about some young guards like Desmond Bane, Dante DiVincenzo, and Kevin Huerter? Well, Desmond Bane's not going anywhere, man. And again, he's another one I scouted out of the draft. I really liked him coming out of college. He was shooting a high percentage from beyond the arc. I like this build, athletic, great defender. Desmond Bane is going to be a keeper for them for years to come. The other two you mentioned, I would not mind them at all. DTLF, do you see AD having a big session next year? Great question. I do. I think Anthony Davis will take a big leap, especially if the rumors are true that Darvin Ham had such a big impact on Giannis, Bobby Portis, Al Horford. Guys are just coming out praising him and just saying the Lakers got lucky with this one. So I'm hearing amazing things. And if there's a lot of validity to it, then you might be looking at AD having a defensive player of the year type year, maybe even MVP type year, but who knows? As long as LeBron's there, most likely he'll be the biggest MVP candidate. But we'll see. I'm still waiting for AD to take the keys to the car. Maybe he's just not that guy, but he's still supremely talented, and we need him to be the best him that he could be this year so that we have a chance to compete. He said, Dan, I don't think I can deal with Russ fans for another season. They actually think Russ is a superstar. Well, he was a superstar at one point, and when that's just the problem, when you fall from grace, sometimes it's hard to face reality, to look in the mirror for anybody. So I understand their dilemma, but they should not be obnoxious and disrespect Laker fans. We are the best basketball fans in the world. We know what we're talking about. People might say we're spoiled or whatever, which could be partially true, right? I've admitted it. But we definitely know what we're talking about, and there's nobody that loves their fans more than Laker fans. That's why they call us delusional. But the interesting thing is that when we used to say we're going to trade for Dwight, they call us delusional. It happened. When we used to say LeBron's going to land here, they call us delusional. It happened. So who's really delusional, right? And who's just hating, and who's really knowledgeable, and who predicts these things? So yeah, they hate us because they ain't us, man. Greatest franchise in the world, and go Warriors, because you know what? Even though I dislike the Warriors, I hate Boston. So there's a difference between disliking and hating, right? And I really want the Warriors to eliminate Boston. That way they don't get that number 18 before we do. So every real Laker fan feels the same way, and I'm glad we're on the same page. Dan, let's keep Russ and let Coach Ham show them what he can do. I'm fine with keeping Russ. That is a good take, bro. Let me tell you why. Because imagine if Coach Ham comes in here and makes Russell Westbrook work somehow. He installs an offense where he gives him the strength to handle the rock and be impactful, whether that's off the bench or just staggering their minutes. And if Russ buys in and respects Coach, then maybe he'll do anything, you know? Maybe he'll do anything for the team. Who knows, man? Darvin Ham's been, again, 19 years in the league. That's a lot of experience. That's like a whole lifetime, man, for a lot of people. So he's really been around, and that experience. Listen, there's coaches like Luke Walton that I feel like they become assistants for 1-2 years, and all of a sudden they get 2-3 head coaching jobs. And then you have coaches like Darvin Ham who really, really deserve it, and they finally get their shot, and I'm rooting for him heavy. And everybody, whether you're a Laker fan or not, you should be rooting for him because this is a good guy. Darius, appreciate you, Darius. I appreciate you, my boy. He said Laker fans are cool to hang out with, coming from a Warriors fan. My guy, yes, sir. Good luck to your team, sir. Good luck to your team. And don't forget to smash the like button, y'all. I'll take a couple more questions before I get off. Really quick, though, before I do, man, Prize Picks. If y'all haven't been playing, y'all haven't been put onto it, definitely check it out. Promo code DTLF. Perfect time to dive in, man. It's the finals, baby. And I think a lot of stuff in the finals can be very predictable. So hopefully, I wish you guys all great luck, and hopefully everybody gets big money. And just shout me out if you do. If you guys win, shout me out. I'll retweet it. I'll repost it on Instagram, all that good stuff. I got y'all. But yeah, major shout out to my sponsor, man, for making it happen. They're the reason I get to do what I love, as well as you guys and your support, man. So thank you guys as well. He said, Dan, 47 million makes it impossible to fill out the team. We're going to have a lot of veteran minimum exceptions to fill out the team. And there's going to be plenty of people taking pay cuts, just like Malik Monk did last year, just like just like Melo did. They're going to want to take pay cuts to come and compete, especially now that we got a new coach, a new direction. And once we start filling out this roster properly, you'll see. There's always going to be surprise pickups. And I hope some of the names I mentioned today in this video become some of it, because that'll be dope. Have you noticed there's still no official announcement on Coach Ham on the Lakers official website? Why? Good question. I'm going to have to go with what my sister Tara always says on Twitter. Lakers love making a splash on Fridays. So that's a theory, right? But that could be a true theory, because I doubt they announce it tomorrow during the NBA Finals Game 1. So, yeah, Friday's starting to make a lot of sense. And maybe they're just ironing out the kinks, and they're figuring out what coaching staff's coming with them. We don't know. But, look, once Woj and Shams reports it, I feel great. I'd be shocked that they backed out of the deal. I'd be pissed, as a matter of fact. That has never happened before, as far as once Shams and Woj reported. So rest assured, Coach Darvin Ham is your future Lakers coach. Don't worry about that. But, yeah, you're right. It hasn't happened yet officially. And Russell Westbrook is uncoachable. He might be uncoachable, but as long as you keep him under wraps, meaning, like I said, stagger his minutes, maybe even bring him off the bench, maybe that could work. However, we're talking about Russell Westbrook as if he's even opted into his contract. He hasn't done that, even though I know he will. As if the offseason is over. We'll talk about this a little more once we figure out what happens with him. For all we know, he can be as good as gone, and we don't even know it. They're just keeping it under wraps. So we'll see what happens. He said, anyways, I got to go practice with my basketball team tonight. Tonight is the last one, so bye then. Hey, good luck, man. Good luck. Have fun. Don't break a leg. Usually I say break a leg, but don't do it. Not in basketball. He said, I need Boston to win. The Warriors are cocky and their fans. No way. No way. There's nobody cockier than the Boston fans, and nobody needs Boston to win. Not in this channel, man. No way. You must be a LeBron fan, though, because I know LeBron fans hate Steph Curry. But look, here's the thing. Nobody's touching LeBron James' legacy. Steph Curry not even in my top 5, let alone in my top 3. We know LeBron is already a shoo-in to be a GOAT, if not the GOAT. So, yeah, Curry, he probably have to win 2 more championships and be 2-time Finals MVP to even start put him in the top 5 conversation, in my opinion. Call me harsh or whatever, because he already has 3 championships, but every championship has been on a super star-studded roster, and he's never been Finals MVP, rightfully so. So he still has something to prove. I don't care what ESPN or Fox tells you. Steph Curry is a great basketball player, but is he a GOAT basketball player? Not yet. At least not from my point of view. Debatable. It's debatable. I'm sure a lot of people are going to think I'm crazy, but that's fine. I swim against the current, baby. You said we had Avery all last year. Come on. We're talking about Avery Bradley? Yeah, I think I'll pass on Avery. I think it's time to let him go. I think it's time. We have younger players that are equally as talented, if not more, like Austin Reeves, and I definitely want to see THT flourish. I can't wait to see what Darvin Ham, what role he plays those 2 players in. Austin Reeves and THT, I really want to see those guys flourish. He says Steph won't be on LeBron level even with 5 rings. Don't be worried, LeBron fans. That's what I'm saying. So, I get it, but, He said Curry doesn't have a Finals MVP, no competition for LeBron's legacy. Exactly. So, again, just don't root for Boston based off of that. Root for whoever you want if you're not a diehard Laker fan, but diehard Laker fans, you know what's up. He said Curry should have got the 2015 Finals MVP and got robbed. We all know Andre was defender. KD carried 2017, 2018 Finals. It's all debatable, man. I'm not going to debate that. I'm not going to go back and watch film just to debate that. But I will say he doesn't have one officially. So, yeah. All my GOATs have at least one. He said, Dan, what's good? Finally 15 black coaches. That's right, man. The league is starting to become progressive and give more people equal opportunity. So it's a beautiful thing to see, man. I love to see that, and more success to minorities and everybody. Everybody deserves equal opportunity, regardless of the color of your skin, man. So it's a beautiful thing. I like it. Congratulations to all those coaches and representing minorities the right way, man. And I'm proud. He said Magic and Kobe won 5, Shaq won 4, Kareem won 6. Nowadays, if you win 3 or 4, you're the GOAT. Listen, again, I'm not going to sit here and debate GOAT conversations. You guys know my opinion on that. What I will say is it's a debate. The GOAT conversation is always going to be debatable because most of the great players didn't play in the same era. So most of the topic of conversation is based off of favoritism and who you like best. Because in reality, if we're talking about championships, we know there's somebody who won 9 to 10 championships. If we're talking about Finals MVPs, we know Jordan has 6. If we're talking about winning with the most teams, we know LeBron has won with 3 different teams and dominated on every level. If we're talking about just the killer instinct, we know Kobe is that guy, and there's nobody I would want the ball in their hands at the end of the shot clock rather than Kobe Bryant. So for me, he's my GOAT, but it's always going to be debatable, right? Curry, when I think of Curry, I think of the best shooter ever coming off of screens. I think of the best shooter during the regular season, and sometimes in the playoffs he can get hot, but it's not as consistent for me to say he's on GOAT level. I think he's played with some of the most stacked teams I've ever seen, including Kevin Durant's 2 championships. Even before that, he had Harrison Barnes, Sean Livingston. They got him on discount because he broke his leg, but before that, they were calling him the next, I remember all kinds of names. He played with Iguodala when he was fresh off of the All-Star with the Sixers. Then he went to Denver, had 1 year there, and then he went to Golden State. So he was still borderline two-way player, All-Star type player. He played with Andrew Bogut, who had great size, even though he was always injured. He obviously Clay and Draymond, and Harrison Barnes. People forget about Harrison Barnes. He was a lottery pick as well. So Curry has been blessed enough to play with so much talent, more talent than I've ever seen. A lot of people play with it. Probably the most talent of all time. We're talking about collective talent, and as a result, he should have 3 to 4 championships, which is about what he has. But he hasn't done anything to blow my mind outside of breaking NBA 3-point shooting records. Personally, right? The players that I have in my GOAT conversation, Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, and not in that order. Those guys have done things that blew me away personally. So again, it's always going to be this topic of conversation is never ending. It's subjective, and everybody has an opinion on it. And I respect everybody's opinion, but I stick by mine. And without further ado, guys, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, man. Always a pleasure talking to you guys. Basketball in general, or just about life, and especially Lakers basketball. Again, as stuff start here to develop and unfold, I will be bringing you more and more content. I do the best I can based off of the information I have. I never want to clickbait you guys, so I always do my research beforehand, and I always make sure that I know exactly what I'm talking about with these things to the most of my ability, right? So that's why some of this is taking me a little longer to drop content. However, we're getting more and more news about the Lakers slowly but surely, and I'll be able to drop more and more content. Again, thank you guys, man. You guys are truly my number one fans, man. The best in the world. So Robert Horry, 1-7, GOAT, 6-man. Again, another topic of conversation. He was clutch as heck, so you could make that argument for sure. He could be the GOAT 6-man. My GOAT 6-man, my favorite 6-man, one of the most unselfish players I've ever seen play the game for me. For me, okay? Now, don't fight me on this. That's Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom could have easily been an all-star multiple years. He's always sacrificed for the team. Lamar Odom was a glue guy. He was somebody who always did what Phil Jackson asked of him, whether it be starting, coming off the bench. If you wanted him to give you 30, he could do that. But if you wanted him to give you a triple-double, 15 assists, 17 rebounds, he was that guy. So people forget about Lamar Odom. He was my favorite 6-man of the year. Now, I'm not saying he's the GOAT 6-man, but he definitely my favorite. I even have his jersey. So shout out to Lamar Odom, man. He's retired now, but we never forget him and how big he was during that championship run. All right, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you guys here on the next one. Have a great evening. Peace.